on. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spot On. Today, we are going to interview Jean Paul Baptiste. Hello. I am Mystic Renee Rose. I am your host, and I am so honored and grateful that Jean Paul is letting us interview him today. So please give him a great big welcome. Yay! A spot on welcome. And let's see. I don't have any viewers, so let's make sure that this is working, right? So go ahead and introduce yourself, and I will double check while you're talking to make sure that we're coming out here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Renee. I just want to thank you for having me on. Yes, my name is Jean Paul Baptiste. I'm a CREE from Saskatchewan, Canada. I am a CREE Shaman, and I live here in Minnesota. I am an awakened. Okay, I remembered who I was. Go ahead. Would you care to say something, Renee?
We're good. And everybody, he might freeze up a little bit because he's on his phone. But we'll just keep rolling if you do freeze, and we'll just revisit it again if you do freeze up. But everything's going really well. It's on in the group. I finally figured out how to get it in the Spot On group. So we are live in the Spot On group now. We're doing good.
Okay, excellent. So just a brief story about myself. Okay, what happened to me? So what happened to me? Okay, so who I am a CREE Shaman. Okay, I remembered who I was. I woke in I think in the first week of June in 2016. So what happened was my wife left me. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very nice. You know, the family was gone. It was just obviously there's a lot to it, you know, but it doesn't matter what happened. I had this heavy heart. Okay.
Right.
Heavy heart I had, and I couldn't get rid of it. Okay. Most of my life, I was upbeat. You know, that's what I was, and I'm still in that way. But the fact was, I was alone, and then I thought about my upbringing, where many of us we have dysfunctional families. That's many people. That's like a good 90%. Yeah, that's like 95% of the people on the planet.
Right. We chose that.
Yeah.
We chose that so we could function and rise. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So one day I had this heavy heart, and I couldn't shake it off or nothing. Doesn't matter what I did, and I just thinking about the loneliness, and that's all I had was being lonely, and and I wasn't like exaggerating it or nothing. It was true. I was thinking about it, recalling it, and then I just surrendered to the idea that I was always alone, and I said that out loud. But then it happened. Okay, a voice spoke up, and it said, "You were never alone. I was always with you," and that was my heart. And as soon as that happened, I went, I was awake. I was awakened. That's when I transcended. That's when I reached my own heart.
Nice.
Yes, and that's exactly. And tears coming down my eyes, and I knew exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. I didn't guess it. I just, my consciousness was awakened.
Right.
And then, all that love came forth. And, for me, how I do it, all I got to do is just listen to my voice, and then I connect to the heart of you, right? To you,
right.
To all of yous, right? And that's what I do. They showed me how to do it by doing it, and this is how, it's the old way of doing things, how we speak and how we communicate with each other. We can use words and stuff, but it doesn't really, it's not as good as being heart-centered, right? Because as you know, the earth is mind based, and it's not working. And I always repeat this because that's my job.
Right.
Yeah, that's our job, is to point this out. But then furthermore, I reach my own heart. I know what I've done. All these visions that I used to have previously, even to now, they make sense now, right? Once
Right.
you are awakened, everything condenses and all the truth comes out. So you go, okay, yes, this is how to do it. This is how to heal yourself, heal others with the heart. But
Right.
you have to reach it first. Yeah. And then the guide came to me, it was the grandmas and grandfathers. And 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 how I see that is like, they're up there, okay? They're around us, they're everywhere. Um they have many names, they're elder source, the creator, God, and all the other ones as well, Jesus, and all the angels, and deity beings, and goddesses, and you know I just call them grandmother and grandfathers. For me, it feels better that way. That's how I do it.
Nice.
It feels better. It's they don't I don't put no names on them, or I do. And sometimes I do. It depends. So
It's important to go with your heart and what your intuition tells you. That's why it's so important to have such a connection with your intuition. So, your innate body and your heart all talk to you.
yes. Oh yeah. But you have to ask the question. You have to really, really, I know, use your intention, your free will, among other things.
Absolutely. To kind of like direct it. Or are
Yeah.
you talking for information? Both, actually, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
You kind of open for information and direct your free will kind of with control. But I'm trying to learn how to direct my free will with surrender. It's not so easy. It's easier with control, but it's not so easy with surrender. But it's still the intention behind it, right?
yeah, yeah. But how I look at it now is that there's steps that we have to take. Because I took them, and it's not. It's for me. It was my lineage. That lineage, and that has so many meanings, right? We have, as we know, right now we have the blood, right? We have that blood lineage, okay. But then we have the higher self, that lineage, okay. They are, I think, how I seen it, they are one and the same.
Gotcha.
Right? 'Cause, yeah, they are connections, because that's what they are.
Right.
Once in the blood. So moving on here is I had these connections. They would tell me what I'm going to do, and show me, and I knew how to remove the anxiety off people just by speaking to them. Identifying, because you have to identify it. That's what I do when I work with somebody. I scan them. Excuse me. I scan them, and then I see these low vibrations that's around the heart. Okay. At first, I was thinking, maybe they're in the heart. Maybe sometimes, yeah, there's a physical heart. I can see that. But then, but deep down, it's always been sacred. So these are vibrations, these blocks, right? That's what they are. They're blocks. They prevent that person of reaching their own heart, right? Because once I reached my own, I had all my references. Me, I had them. I didn't have to read off any books. I just had them.
Right.
And they're always coming to me. When I go to sleep. In my waking hours. Yeah, it's there.
Like
But
a direct link or direct access.
yes, the higher self.
The
right?
higher, that's what I say. Feel through my higher self. I access the higher libraries when it's actually really coming from in the heart, but it really projects out above. So it's like reaching up into the libraries.
Yeah. And there's many of them. And that's what I found out. When I was awakening, It's about remembering, right? The location, the door, if you will. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes you see doors and you open them up, but nobody can do that. Only you.
Your
That's the
own
thing
door.
about, yeah. You got to open your own doors. You can be led to the door, but
Right.
you can definitely that's definitely key. So I'm awakened now. I know what to do. You
Yeah.
know, right? And sometimes, yeah, a person gets visions and the dreams, and they're um, multidimensional. I've been doing it now for a while, so they have lots of meanings, right? We were going to,
Absolutely.
yes, we were going to discuss something as well.
Yes.
Perhaps we should maybe visit it now.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Lots of things have been happening, and Jean Paul wants to talk about that.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm a storyteller. So this is kind of key here. So what I do, okay, what I do is that when I there's a lot of ancestors with me. Okay, there's a lot of them. Yes, there's angels. There's many versions of me with here. Because they're me, right? They hang
Mm-hmm.
out. Be it the small little boy, my teenager, the shaman, all the other shamans, and all these beautiful expressions. We all have those, but they are our ancestors. Yes, even
Mm-hmm.
even the ancestors of my grandfather, my grandmother, you know, on both sides, right? But all throughout time, it goes all the way down. But what happens is that when I detect them, I was showing just not too long ago, really. It's like a mist that comes in, you know, but that's the ancestors of of the person that I'm helping
Mm-hmm.
in me. So what happens there is that once they do this, they connect to each other. They um, they form an agreement, an agenda,
Right.
right, of healing, of finding resolve. You know, then once that occurs, and then yes, and then your fractal, my shaman, the monk goes out and he fixes it, right? But then there's always how it is when something good happens, right? This is kind of old too. But when something good happens, there's always a sign, you know, be
Mm-hmm.
it be it like a shooting star,
Right.
depends, right? Depends how extravagant they want to be.
Right.
But yeah, but it's your own reference, and that occurs.
Right.
That's me going. That's them saying, okay, it's done, and that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because we have to be 100% ourselves. But if
Right.
you're stuck in somewhere else,
Right.
if you think about how creation is, it's large, it's vast. It's like all that love, everybody's love, you know,
Right.
and um, and lots of these timelines, they do reside in our hearts. That's where I find them. You know,
Nice.
they do, right? So when I'm searching my heart,
Your
because
heart.
I'm always you know, uh,
I really like that.
yeah,
I
I'm
really like
always.
that because I've been trying to find them outside. So they're inside my heart. No wonder I wasn't able to connect them all because you usually visually see them outside. So I really like
Mhm.
that. That's a little golden nugget there. I have to kind of stop for a minute. But go ahead now. That's a
Yeah,
golden nugget there.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing though. But I never knew that. You see, I
Right. Me
never knew that.
either.
I never, no, I never. And I used to, they should show me how timelines work, other dimensions, how they work, and how they kind of loop like this. And they sometimes they touch each other, and there's lines, but they're not straight lines though, as one would think. But at the same time, they are. It's all.
Right. So the dimensions and the times both have lines, kind of, don't they? And sometimes they cross over.
Yes, and sometimes they're this geometry.
That grid. Yeah.
Yeah, there's sacred geometry. Like
Absolutely.
yeah, like if somebody's seen like what is that called? Like a lava lamp. You see?
Yes.
And
I
they
love lava lamps.
yes, and they go, they do their
Um,
thing. and they come back again and they do it again. It's like a fractal. You know, you know, always expanding, always going to the end and coming back, and always can continue. Right. Those ones too. Those are another part of creation. Because there's a universes. There's our dimensions, I guess you could say. So, what else is there?
Well, you were going to tell us about the experience you had the other night.
Yes. So this. Okay. So what happened last night? Yes, the ancestors. Okay. So the ancestors are the ones who are controlling this. Okay, they are. Okay. Yes, they're higher. Yeah. If you are part of that Jesus collective, well, then that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But so based on the ancestors that are here, okay, all these other missions to fix, what we're going through collectively, and don't forget too, there's groups as well. There's groups. So last night, we were. I went to bed early. My friend, she was having a difficult time. But she was screaming and stuff. And I remember she was like, I shouldn't say screaming, but yeah, she was kind of in pain. And I knew what was going on.
Right.
Yeah, I knew what was going on. She was the portal opened, and I seen it. I seen like that flash, like that instant flash, big flash of light. Then I seen all these people come pouring out of it, a whole bunch of people pouring out, and I knew right away. And then a voice told me. It says they told me they're from 100 years ago, exactly, right on the money. 100 years.
1818.
Yeah. No. 1918.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because we're 2000. Okay, 1918.
Yeah. They're 1918, December 13th. Okay, that's when it was, December 13th.
Okay.
And the reason right away I was looking at after, the reason being was that they weren't really allowed to be there, okay, because they were too advanced. These are high kings and queens. They're kings and queens, but they're higher kings and queens above them. Then above those are deity beings, okay, and then it goes. I'm gonna try not to confuse anybody here. Then deity beings, and then there are gods and goddesses, right? And then after that, there are source beings. That's kind of the order it falls under, right? So, anyways, these beings weren't allowed. These beings weren't allowed to be there because they were too high vibrational. Okay, it would have. Don't forget, if they were there, they would have been, interacting with people. They had ships, so imagine in 1918 that people saw ships.
Yeah.
These higher dimensional beings would obviously share their knowledge, right? Why wouldn't they? So
well, there wasn't much technology back then in 1918. Was there?
No. There's people channeling back then. There's people channeling.
Oh, right.
It was underground. There's lots of underground societies back then. So whatever the reason was, these beings were not there anymore. Okay, I'm going to call this the 1918 expression. Okay, the World War One was finished. Okay, it was done. I think in 1918 it was done. So they were removed. Okay, right? They were removed. Are stuck there. So once that door opened, they came here. Some of them were what do you call it? Some of them were kind of stuck. Some of them had some problems. So we started fixing those ones right away. I was interacting with many of them. So all this good stuff was going on. Okay. The fear, the fear and all those higher vibrations, as soon as they came here, they had it. And we were transmuting all that stuff.
Nice.
Right? But then after that we were invited to a ball.
Nice.
Okay, and I remember this. I totally remember this. So I'm standing at this ball, okay, and I seen this big arches. So it's kind of like we just switched our Victorian clothing for newer clothing because I was in our evening, our
Right.
evening with attire.
Right.
Right, for
Party outfits. Your
yeah,
party
outfit. This my friend, she had on this unbelievable gown. Okay, I'm gonna describe this to you.
Nice.
Okay, so it was diamond silk.
Nice.
Diamond silk. Okay, however, it had the diamonds were the light from the diamonds were stretched and interwoven into the material, so it had this crazy glow on it. Like it looked like a luminous,
luminous.
Yes, like a one of those illuminous jellyfish that you see.
Right.
Like exactly like that. And it had white,
awesome.
Kind of, it was like unbelievable. And I seen them, and the people were all dressed up, beautiful outfits on. Nice. So that was kind of definitely a celebration. You see, very big.
They were happy to be free, huh?
Yes, and yes, true. That's very true. And then now they're here.
Good.
Right, they're here.
Welcome all.
Yes.
We love you.
Yes. Yeah, and that's like another friend of mine had his references too, and I was like, wow, and I said, you got the same thing too, and I know he did because he was there, so
he was there, so that's cool.
Yeah.
We always have affirmations of it all, don't we? And then we have 2 or 3 more confirmations as the day goes on, and I love that, so that we know, and it's stronger more now than it was before, isn't it?
I mean, oh my God, yeah, yes. You would be the only one who was having it, pretty much, like 10 years ago.
Right.
If that ever occurred, you'd probably be the only one who remembers.
Right.
But that's what it is. We have to remember who we are. And how we do that is we talk about it. We talk about the dragons. We talk about these realms that people describe to us. But you know what though? It's getting so easy because of all the work that everybody's doing in their own local realities, and of course on a higher level, it's coming forth.
So you mean all the work that we've all done by ourselves, not sure what was happening and whether it was effective or what was going on. We literally just had to run on faith for the last 50 years. And so basically one person can make a change. And that's what we're finding out now, that my 35 years of hard work has paid off. Because it's helped me. But yes, everyone that has come around me in the meantime, it's also affected, which I didn't know for sure if it was, but I do know now. And that's why it's so important for us to gather and unite so that we don't feel alone, that we can have our affirmations and confirmations with each other, and then find out, the epiphanies are happening to our soul family at the same time. Because we're all on the same level. Then it's like, oh goodness, we all can't be crazy. No, we're doing this. We're doing this together. Let's go. With unity, it's just so much better than being alone. And so many people have been alone and lonely for so long that it's the best time, because we've been so stuck and sequestered alone, trying to do this with all the dark around us. And so we all had to break through our dark bubbles to be light and come out. And now that we all are, we're able to connect together because we're shining so bright, and our free will is saying, I want. So many people are expressing that they want to draw their soul family in. I don't think we were talking like that before as much, but everybody seems to be talking about it now. Our full intent is to connect with our soul family one way or another. And that's awesome, because when you get your soul family around you, it's like having your village. It's phenomenal. You feel like you're ready to go because it's not you, it's everybody. We're all in this together, and it feels so nice. And I'm sure that the ancestors were very thankful, because I'm sure they'd much rather be here right now during this time than stuck way back in 1918.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically saw during this shift and all the things that have happened the last couple days, you saw the portal, it
Yep.
opened, and then you saw that the ancestors were all there, and the ones that needed healing from their fears and the ones that needed to be unstuck. You basically helped them all come through the portal into this time. See, now it did it again. That's the second time your camera flashed when we were talking about the ancestors. Okay, so that's my confirmation, because the first time I didn't want to interrupt you, but this time I was talking. The first time you said ancestors, the second time I did, and the flash. The first time the flash came, I saw somebody in there. The second time was just a quick flash. But I swear, I think the ancestors are so happy they wanted to come through and say hi or thank you. Right behind your head to your right. And it flashed. It was really unique. And we have those things happen all the time. So now that was twice. So I'm going to say something because that was twice. But again, we're going to say thank you for helping those ancestors come through, because we're all trying to. Oh, there it did it again. So that's it. Number 3. So they really are. Unless I lost you, did you get blocked? No.
I'm listening. I am listening.
Yep, there you are. It did stop for a minute, but you're back. So yes, they're literally saying thank you. They're coming through to say thank you to you, because it's important that we all do our work, because we all have something to do. We all have information for others. We all have stuff that once we get it all out, it's like we're flowing. Because doesn't it feel like you're stuck with all this stuff for other people on an as you need to know basis, and when you can finally just get rid of it, it's like, I'm empty again. And that lasts for what, a total of a half a second, and then poof, you're reloaded.
That's funny.
But at least it's fresh as opposed to sitting there for a long time. Well, that's very good. Once again, thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
For recognizing it and seeing it, and then even having confirmation of somebody else that was at the ball. And I would love to have a gown like that, a luminescent diamond gown. Woo, that sounds beautiful.
Oh, it was. I seen it. It was.
Wow.
Over the top.
Nice.
That if that gown was here, it would be worth like billions of dollars.
Right.
I kid you not.
They were just that happy. But back then there was a lot of flamboyance, wasn't there? Wasn't that the flapper age back in the teens and the 20s?
Yep.
That was the flapper age.
That stuff, it's still here. Okay. Right. It's still here. They still like doing that, because for them it's like a tradition.
That's theirs, right? Absolutely.
It's been doing it for time. It's like a tradition for them.
And you can see it in their parties, in their celebrations. Yep. Their traditions come out in their celebrations. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Old stuff.
Absolutely wonderful. So the shift that Rick was talking about, and that I felt too, I think is, like you said, kind of individual. There might have been an overall shift, but it's still that person's reality, right? So our reality of that shift is going to be when we're ready.
Yeah. In different groups too have it. Like sometimes I would see a shift, like somebody would obviously say something, and I would like beget, how come how come I never felt it? And that's the question I would ask myself. Because they would have too many references for that shift, and then because it was meant for them only.
Okay.
That's what I got.
And plus, a lot happens when you're asleep.
Oh no, that's why it's so important to activate your dreaming body. You have to repair it. Okay, and that's your dreaming body is your stomach, right? It's your stomach, and oh yes, you have to, because so many times, personally, is that I've been doing these.
Can you tell us how to do that?
Yes, I can.
Please. Okay. Great.
Oh, yeah. So what you do is that you put your hand up, you grab some energy from the top, and you focus it with your hand, and you put it on your stomach. Okay, focus it. And you clear it, and then what you do. How I do it is like a beam of light is going down and it's blasting everything. And that's what I do. Okay, and that's it. And that's what I do. So it's clearing everything. Okay, it's clearing everything. There's many ways of doing it, but
Absolutely.
it's that it's that imagination, right?
Right.
That door, right? It's a magical door.
There you
You
go.
know,
Yes, yes.
and you have to open it up, and you got to believe it because it's true, right? And
Right.
that's what I do. I see something going on with somebody, and I call it. There's no
Call it
second guessing, nothing.
out. Right.
So what you do is that you clear the area, okay? You put your attention on it, you focus on it, and you do this, and you go, okay, dream body, we're gonna have a good
Dreaming.
dream tonight. We're gonna have a good dream tonight. You're
There
gonna
you
take
go.
me somewhere. We're gonna remember everything. We're gonna, go deeper into the heart, into us, and then we're
And
gonna
there you go.
exercise. We're gonna exercise it, and that's it. It does help though when you have a good energy healer like myself, like you, as a seer that can
Mhm.
identify it, right? Because you have to when you do your scans of people, you have to see it.
Right.
Okay. I don't mean, yes, there's gifted ones that can do it, but you have to do it. You need your own references, right? Blocks. But like I said, and how do we repair this dreaming? Well, we talk about dreaming. We share our dreams. Okay. And then once we trigger each other on a dream, well, then, that's kind of aligning our dreaming together, ain't it?
Right. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. There's so many things that a person can create, right? And use for for benefits of yourself and all your connections. So,
Well, I like that because I was doing so much at night that I just shut it down. When I was younger, I would astro travel so much, and then I couldn't tell anyone. I mean, nobody wanted to hear. So I stopped because it was frustrating because I also couldn't communicate. And I like to talk. So if I'm going to astro travel and then I can't talk to them and I can't tell anybody when I come back, it's like, okay, the information's good. I witnessed a lot of other civilizations because I would go places like the other side of the universe. If I could imagine it, that's where I'd go. So I saw a lot of things, but I couldn't tell anyone about it. So I kind of started shutting them down when I realized I was doing so much work at night that I was waking up exhausted during the day. And I decided I needed to do more during the day. So I just kind of, shut it down for quite a while. Because I just didn't want to do so much. I needed to focus during the day. Well, I like what you said because I can still open it up, but I can tell my dream body that I want to go inside as opposed to outside. And then I can do the balancing, the healing, the releasing when I'm sleeping and work on myself. Plus, I also understand you can ask to be taken to your ships and healed as well. So there's different things that you can do. So I'm opening back up at night again. I'm opening all of it. I shut a lot down because it was too much for everybody and everything. So just running on small amount is still too much for everyone before, but not anymore. I feel that I'm being called out to be fully empowered. If I'm not fully empowered, how can I really tackle what's ahead of us? So
mm-hmm.
thank you, because that's another little golden nugget. And that was definitely, at least I felt I resonated with that on a big scale. So thank you very much.
Oh, you thank you. Very welcome.
My kitty is definitely, we have a fly, and I don't know if you saw me do this. We have a fly. It was buzzing in my ear, and so my cat's jumping for the flies. So if it comes flying through, you'll know what happened. He's been trying to come up here since you've been talking. He keeps trying to come up. He hears your voice.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to say hi. So, but anyway, yes, this portal. So let's talk about the shift too. The shift that Rick said was on the 12th, around 3:30, and that was his. That's what he said last night, and I put the video in the timeline.
Yep.
But for me, I felt the draw to go outside on the 11th at the midnight hour for the 12th. So all of you, that video that says Midnight Madness, that's what that was about. I actually was holding space in the backyard in my portal, my big portal, to allow energies to come through.
Oh, beautiful.
And so you can go there and see that. I saw everything. I don't know if anyone could see it through the camera, but I'm still holding space. I used to go outside and do that a lot, but you know, I haven't in so long because so many things shut down. So I'm opening them back up again. And that night I stayed from like, I think 10 to about 1 o'clock at night. It was about 40 degrees outside, so it was cold outside. But I had a dragon I saw, a few ships I saw. Definitely, there's always angels, so there was a mist around with them. There was always orbs. There's always orbs around me, so there was orbs immediately. And I looked off to the left, and I actually saw some fairies. So I hadn't seen them before. I knew they were in the backyard, but the amount of work and effort that this man has put into this backyard for 2 years, I knew they were there. I just finally got to see them. So that's one of the things that Rick was saying, that this last shift now, the magic is there. And the fairies, he's been talking to them as a, you know, an actual conversation with them. And he was kind of, you know, laughing how he's actually talking to the fairies. And one of them actually had a little bit of a an attitude, but fairies are like that, right? Fairies are playful. They got attitudes. They're very strong-willed, you know, and we've got lots out here. And I think since you as a bear came around and have been talking to mother, things, or grandmother, I think the backyard has changed. It's opened up. It's lightened up more. Things are happening back there. And I forgot to look in the water, but that's my biggest thing. I want to bring in some aquatic energy. I'm not sure what that will be. I'm not going to control it. I'm just going to allow space for it. And so I prepared for the 22nd. The 22nd is my gathering on the full moon. I really don't expect real people to show. That's okay, because I'm holding space for spirit. If other people show, that's great. But in the meantime, after that, I came in, and because it was so cold, I didn't want to get sick or anything. So I went to bed and I slept till like noon, and I never even got out of the bed that day. So for the 13th, I literally was in bed the whole day. So everybody didn't hear anything from me Wednesday, and I just started moving on Thursday. So I don't know how the shift has affected you out there, but I can tell you there was a shift, you know, for like 3 days, the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th.
Yes.
For the whole 3 days, they were shifting.
Oh, it was, you know, lots of, I don't know, lots of understanding, really, you know, understanding the shadow part of it all, you know, trying not to judge. Oh, it's tough. It's tough for me, even. It's tough.
I started off with the 11th doing the promotions, and then the 12th I slept through the whole day, and then the 13th I rose again, basically. I almost think I have a new fractal in me now. I feel a little something's added.
Yeah,
something's a little different.
Yes. I think yeah, you know, I think it's different with everybody around now. You know, it's different. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it because it's so vast.
And it's subtle. It's vastly subtle. That's spirit. That's how spirit works. Vastly subtle. That's spirit in a couple words. So it was really awesome. So you had a really great experience. You were able to help a lot. Yes. And grow too over the last few days. If you did, you know, shadow work and stuff, then we've all grown, and we're all just kind of coming out again. Maybe it was kind of like a 3-day cocoon too, you know. It's like you know, you're getting ready to go, so you're like, okay, I got a lot of stuff to do, and then boom, you're like cocooned for a day, and then you like rise out like the phoenix from the ashes on the 3rd day. So yeah, like kind of like a 3-day event.
It was over the top. It was yeah.
Well, we have a couple of viewers that popped in. I haven't really Oh, somebody said beautiful. So we do have people popping in. So I also shared from the group over to the timeline. So people should be able to pop in on the timeline. Hopefully this is public. I looked for the public view on it so that everybody can see it. But sometimes when it's being recorded, sometimes not everyone's able to access this. But once we do the interview, this is when the magic begins. Okay, then the promotion part is where it's all going to follow through. So this is just the beginning, and everybody who came in the beginning are all people that I've worked with, that I've known for the last year, who have helped me freely, that I just really wanted to help back. I'm sure that eventually things will start changing for other people that are new coming in and stuff. But for right away, the original plan for doing this spot on, because I already planned on doing interviews, but I had to wait till I had the right time. And this was the perfect way for me to give back to everybody that freely helped me and didn't ask for anything, because, a lot of psychics and coaches need funds, which I'm totally understanding of, and they do free seminars and stuff and give out little nuggets and stuff. But the actual angels that are out there giving love and healing and helping people freely is what Spot On is about right now, is pulling all the angels together. And then I'm going to promote everybody as a whole.
Oh, that's
so
beautiful.
We all go together, and then that way I think the universe will be behind it, and we'll get sponsors much quicker because it's going to be for the whole as a gathering in a group. So we all have our small groups on our Facebook. So when the time comes and the calling comes, right, they're going to say, okay, grab your tribe, grab your groups, and come on. And if we haven't already started it, if we haven't connected with our group, we don't have our soul family, we haven't gotten our tribe yet, we won't be ready. So all this is in preparation for what we feel that we know is coming down the road, right?
Yes, very soon. Sooner than you can think.
I know it's happening right now. Yes! Yes! Waited 30, 40 years, finally. It's a good time to be alive. I'm glad I'm still here. And yet, I know also this is just the beginning, the door opening, the shifts, the portals opening for so much to come.
Yes.
And I've waited so long, and I want to present it to those that are just awakening, so that they don't have to go what we had to go through all by ourselves and everyone calling them crazy. We are here to bring them in and say, no, join us. We've been doing this forever. Come on in.
Yeah, we can help. We can help. We understand what's going on. And
absolutely.
We've been there. We've been there. That's why.
That's right. That's why we've all gone through so much. That's why we all set our families up and the experiences so that it would all be okay by now. We just didn't know the timing. We just had to go through everything with blind faith, and now it's paying off, and the rewards are coming, and the things are happening, and this last shift is magical. I love that Rick said that, because I'm going to go with that. It's magical.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It is.
Magical.
I want to share something real quick here. Is on my birthday, I had a vision where they told me 12 in 12 days. That's what it said, 12 days. So that was on Halloween, right? So 12 days is,
your birthday's Halloween?
December 12th.
December 12th. That's right.
Yep.
So you're right on. And happy belated birthday, but your birthday's on Halloween?
November 1st.
Yep. Mine is March 31st. And so I was presented to everyone as a fool, as April Fools. Here's the new baby, Renee. April Fools, everyone. And you're a happy Halloween. Yeah. But that means that you were born on the night before. So the night before Halloween is Devil's Night. And then the shift is Hallows Eve is right at the shift of Devil's Night over to at midnight to Halloween, and then you go all the way to the next day, and that's All Saints Day. So Devil's Night is just what we call it. It doesn't mean that's devil. It just means that the portals are open, right? The portals are open on that night before. And we're all preparing by like making sure everything's safe and okay for everybody, so that when Hallows Eve comes out, it's safely protected, because isn't that like 24 hours when spirits can roam and come in and do all these things? So if we protect everything on Devil's Night the night before, then Halloween is protected. And then All Saints Day comes right in behind it. So those 3 days are all very magical. And if you're born during the portal opening on the night before, the day before, which considers, Devil Night, but I would like to call it something else. It's just that's what we've always called it.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought I would bring it up. I was born in a small town northeastern Michigan, and the town celebrated it. We only had like 4 blocks of town. We didn't have much, so we did everything ourselves. We connected, we partied together as groups, because we didn't have much in our town but a dock in the water and three blocks. So what we would do is we would line up on both sides of the street and we'd pelt each other with eggs. And it was a town event every year for Devil's Night. And then the police were there on each end of the street. They were part of it, And then the next day was Halloween, and then All Saints Day. So that's the reason I know, is because our town actually celebrated Devil's Night. It was the one night everyone could let off steam, and everyone, we were across the street. So how hard can you really throw an egg across the street? Not very hard. The only thing was the kids that would like sequester their little eggs for a couple of weeks and they were rotten. But other than that, none of the stores would sell any eggs, but it was really a town event. It was a town event. So that's pretty cool. That's way cool that you were born literally during that portal time. That you could come through with all that energy through the spiritual portal. That might be another reason why you're like so connected and so spiritual, that you even had a spiritual birth at a spiritual time.
Yeah.
Because it's a portal time. You know what I mean? Portals, the night before is a portal time. So there was a portal open all over the place. And then that's when you were born. So that's I think, pretty significant.
Yes, it is. It is. I never thought about that myself.
Yeah, and so I'm a fool, and that's okay, because I've got everywhere to go up from there, right? I can just be me and not care, but it's just really expressing my inner self, and being strong and empowered about it, and not worrying like the fool. It's not a concern, and that's pretty much how I've been all my life. And you've been a really a very spiritually open portal. You've been walking around like an open portal, haven't you?
Yes. I'm just being me. That's all.
Right. Well, as an astrologer, I understand how important our births are. Our births are very important, very significant. And right down to the second we take our first breath. And if you want to say it's all planned, then it's extremely important.
Yes, definitely. There's truth to it for sure. It is an agreement. What are the stars? The stars are a configuration of consciousness. And that's what it is. And our hearts are stars too.
Right.
So light alchemy is the connecting of these stars, of these expressions, and that's what I do.
Awesome. Right, you're alchemy.
Yes.
You're an alchemist, yes.
Correct.
I have several gentlemen that are coming on that are all alchemists, and I love that. I love that. Maybe that'll help activate that in me as well.
Yes.
And that shaman. So it's part of the shaman too, isn't it? Isn't alchemy connected with shamanism, or is it two different things. I'm not as familiar with alchemy. I really am not. I have to admit that.
It's
I
you know what
understand it a little bit.
it's it's the same. This worded differently, right? Because
Okay,
what
then
the
I was
shaman
right.
does, yeah. So what the shaman does, the shaman connects expressions together, right? He searches, right? That's what he does. He searches for these missing parts, these puzzles that are the land and the people. And once he goes like this to his head and goes okay, and he sees them all. Then from there, okay, I'm going to grab this piece from there, replace that piece, and put it all together again, right? Restore somebody, the land, you know.
Nice.
That's exactly what happens.
And how's the alchemy come in?
Well, that's the higher expressions too, right? Because that's the stars. Okay, when you want to connect them, well, it is a line. It's a physical line of energy,
Okay.
right? So you gotta put your hand, if your finger, and you point, and you go from here to there. Right? I used to do that when I was a kid. I don't know why. I was so obsessed with connecting corners together. You know, I did when I was a kid. I
I
used to
never
do that.
did that.
All the time. Like I'd be walking on a sidewalk and I'd be connecting the corners together, making lines.
Nice. Nice. I saw the lines. I get. I would see the lines beneath my feet all the time, but I never tried to connect them.
Yeah, I used to connect
Yeah.
them all. And sit
Nice.
there and just. But it's part of it. You see, that's that old that school that you were in before, just coming out. That you were attracted to it.
Nice.
Since day one. But oh yeah, there's lots of information. The shaman, um, how he does things. Like I said, how it works is that you know he deals with energy,
Right.
right? But he's very good in the 3D realm. That's the thing about him. He's very good in the 3D realm, right? He's a master of the 3D.
Awesome.
Yeah, and among
So,
other things.
so that is what you do with people, right? I mean, this would be a good
Yeah.
time for us to speak about what it is you can do to help people.
Okay. No, like I said, what I do is that I clear the person. Okay, I clear the person on a multi-dimensional level, right? Once that clearing is occurring, you know, yes, so lots of times it's instant, instant, and then once the energies are flowing, then I rise the energies up higher frequency, right? And then there's another aspect to it is fractals, right? Who we were before. If we were a god or king or you know somebody,
Right.
a
Right.
shaman,
Right.
right? A priestess, right? But we were them though. Okay, they loved what they did. They were awakened. Okay, so they were they had all that love at that point in time. Now, if we could go retrieve them, bring them back, right? Because a lot of times what happens to me, I see them. I see these beings come to me and they talk to me. Then I'm thinking, oh, who the heck are these people? And then they show up to me and I said, okay, you're that lady that I seen last night. You were your guides were the fairies, right? And there was a strong fairy. Okay, she was the queen fairy, and she was telling me to tell you to trust your instincts because you are very accurate, and don't look back, right? Exactly, and that's exactly the message that occurred,
Nice.
in one of my readings, and that's like I said, you have that fairy aspect too. So
Yeah, are you saying that to me or you were saying that to your client?
I was saying that to my client,
Okay.
but yeah, but multidimensional, like I
Right.
said, right? And then see, but then I'll know who her aspect is that fairy, and that would guide me, and that would be the prominent how it works. The prominent block would come,
Gotcha.
right? And then he's got to listen to my voice. We talk. I'm a storyteller, so I have lots of stories that actually happen. Lots of them. Lots. I do my writings, and I try to explain it, in a storytelling fashion, right? So people will reach their own hearts,
Right.
right? Because we have to disconnect from the system. We have to connect to our own heart. Then from there we connect to the land. Once we connect to the
I
land,
like that.
we instantly connect to each other.
I like that. Disconnect from the system, connect to our own hearts, and then connect to the land. And we connect to each other through the land. I like that. That's the third golden nugget. Thank you, Jean Paul. Jean Paul.
Yes.
I always
Oh,
make it sound like Jean.
that
Nice.
is like crucial. And see
Yes.
I'm CREE, so I have that understanding deep, in my heart, and we all do, right? But I remembered, and for me, how I see it, it's the best way, right?
Gotcha.
It is, and there's other ways of doing it, but then can you say to yourself, you reach your own heart? And there's people that are doing it now, they're doing it, but
Absolutely.
yeah, but go ahead.
That this little fly just kind of landed on my head and then came into my right. First came over. Oh, actually over here. No, it was over here, and then went like right in my head. So I'm just like, it just wants to be on camera with me, I guess. Okay, fly. What do you have to say? Now quit. Go away. So let's see here. We've got our topic, and we know how. Now I've done inside your event. I put a bunch of your pictures with some of them had some stories or some little things. You always had a comment with each one of the pictures that I put in. And then I also, I'm pretty sure I put your list of all the things, your services, all the things you'll do.
Yes, thank you so
And I
much.
know we got your website and we got your Facebook group. So if there's anything extra we need, we'll put that in there afterwards. But everyone can reach you through your website or through the messenger or both.
Yeah, through my website, through my messenger. I'm pretty much, I do have to do scheduling. So, and then
Right?
we'll find a time, we'll discuss, right away. Like I said, if you have a heavy heart, if there's something that's wrong and you can't, remove it, well, come and see me,
There you
you
go.
know, maybe I'm your healer.
Right. So any of you out there watching today, if you resonate with Jean Paul, then connect with him. Go join at least join his Facebook group, right? At least join that so you can get to know him better, and then if you really resonate him and you feel you really, there's something he could do for you, then step up and approach him. It's okay. He's saying it's okay. He'll tell you what's going on. He's not going to blindside you afterwards, like some people. He's going to tell you up front what he can do, how much it is, and how long it'll take, and schedule a time to do it. So he'll be able to help you with that. And anything else, you're very loving and giving. So probably like me, when you have a paid for situation, you probably go longer and do more than what you
Oh yes, of course.
originally start off.
Yes, and I was, now it's about the gifting. God gift, and basically what I do, I just, if I know somebody is initiated the shaman, right? I knew that, and then I would, and lots of times, yeah, lots of people don't have no money, so I just say, okay, I'll just gift it to you, and then I talk to them. Doesn't take long.
Yeah, and you can also tell if someone's lying, for goodness sakes.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I just
Within
try not
reason,
to.
right? I mean, we don't have those
Yeah,
kind of people. We're too bright, we're too light right now, and we're doing too much, and we're resonating with other light workers. So
yes.
I really don't even have to even mention it, let alone think about it anymore. We have such wonderful groups now that, there might be some other things trying to infiltrate, but I don't believe that dark can be in light anymore. It just can't be. That light fills the dark. Dark doesn't fill the
Well,
light.
well,
Light
that's
fills
the
the dark.
but that's the thing though. It is balance.
Balance.
That's
That's
it.
right.
That's it. That's all we got. That's all we have to focus on. Balance.
That's right.
Okay.
There you go.
Dark and light, they are the expressions of the creator. And for myself, I just leave it at that. Maybe if you would have
Yeah.
contacted me a year and a half ago, I would probably
Right.
tell you differently.
It's all about grounding the last 30 years, but not anymore. It's about balancing. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm hearing that on every level. It's not
Yes.
about grounding, it's about keeping everything balanced, finding balance between light and dark, finding balance between good and bad, and then finding a balance between the spirit world and the earthly plane. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother level there.
Oh, and then you have to remember finally balance with the heart and mind.
And the heart and mind. There you go. That's
Yes.
right. And
Oh,
the body and the spirit, right?
yes. The body, the spirit. There's balance. There's on top there. There's a balance of what? There's a balance of the third eye,
And your
the
crown.
root, the third eye. No, the third eye. Sorry, the third eye, the root, and the heart.
There you go. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sure.
Awesome.
We can show the crown in. We can throw the crown in there.
Yeah. I thought you were going up. I didn't realize you're going down. Just helping you along.
You're amazing.
So the third eye, the heart, and the root. That's the
Yes.
balance, because the heart balances out the root and the third eye, right? So the
Yes.
heart's the center of the balance of the two.
Yes.
I like that because I've been working on the chakras and the balance, but I like that because that works, and it's a triad, right? It's a triangle, so I love
Triangle.
triangles. Yeah,
It is a triangle. Wow.
absolutely. Awesome. Well, I am so glad we got to have some time. Everything's gone really well. We've even had 3 flashes during it. It was awesome, and all the energy that's been coming through,
No,
and all
thank
the
you.
little golden nuggets. Thank you. We love that.
No, thank you so much. I'm gonna watch it and see these flashes. I want to see these flashes.
Yeah, it's like every time we said ancestors thanking you, poof, there'd be another flash. And it was like
Ancestors.
it was your phone. Your phone would just flash. It
But
would go on and off
really,
for a
I would. But
second.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would. I don't see a flash.
I
But
know
you know
you're
what
not
though?
seeing it because it's going
Yeah.
off. Yeah, you can't see it because your
Oh.
phone is flashing itself. You can only see it on this side. And at
Oh.
first, I could understand if it was the first time. I might even understand if it was the second time. But I was talking about it the second time, and the second time, the third time, by the third time, 3 times a charm for me. That was meant. Because the very first time, I actually saw a figure when it flashed behind you. The second 2 times
Wow.
were just flashing when we said ancestors and thanking you. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
very
see
sure.
that. I see that too. I see that too.
I'm very sure that they came, or that they were, they were just flashing the thank you because they're so
Yeah.
grateful for what you did, and they're showing it because
Yeah.
we allow that. We're okay with that.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
awesome.
That's funny you say that. When I talk to people, and I see that on them. It's like a little ball comes out of the top of their head, and they kind of kind of goes away, or it comes out of back of mine and kind of goes there and goes flies away. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah. I remember having that a few times. Huh.
Well, the shape was okay, like a shadow of the light. So when it flashed, it was like a light flash, and it was like your phone went out, but not. It flashed out, and the first time when it flashed the light, I could see the shadow behind you because the light hit the image and it shadowed. But it was like this, boom. It was like a boom. Oh, there it goes. It just did it again. So it's just a second. It's just a second that it happens.
I don't see nothing.
I know you're not seeing it, but wait until we're all done. Then you can go back and see it. And because
Yes.
I know I saw it flash over on the recording, but I'm watching us directly while we're on the Be Live, so I'm seeing you directly. And then we have a secondary visual for what everybody else sees, and it's just got a touch of a lag, so I don't watch that one. I watch the real time talking to you, and that's where the flashes were happening. So I could see over to the right that it happened, so I'm sure you'll be able to um, see something. I'm sure of it. And again, because the intention is there, the loving
Yes.
intention for us
Yes.
to
To
produce golden
heal.
nuggets for everyone, value, and affirmations of spirit.
Yes. Yes. It's about healing. It's
Yep.
healing yourself, healing the land. Your family,
Now we
everything.
got comments in the comments. Okay, so there, I finally got some comments going here. Everyone I think was just watching and listening. So someone said they had fun pulling cards today for children. Oh, that must be a friend of mine. He's awesome. Thank you both. Thank you, loved ones. And I saw that too. I see it flash. And so that person just saw the flash just now and saw the one before. So if that's the case, then I know you're going to see it.
Oh my God.
So
They're
thank you,
nuggets,
whoever's
flash
there.
nuggets.
Thank you. Yeah,
Wow.
I can't see. There's no names on anybody right now, so I don't know who's in there. But
Okay.
I can sense both the energies, so I'm pretty sure I know
Yeah.
who it is in there.
That's good. Wow. Huh. Okay.
So it'll
That's
be pretty cool for you to see,
yes.
but we'll have to
Yes.
stop for you to see them. So are you ready to stop? I don't know.
Yes.
Are
Yes.
you ready?
People understand. And I do have my story at my Facebook group, Heart Truth Communications.
And I'm sure I put it in your event.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Yep.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I have the event so we can go and see everybody's information all in one place. I'm almost making like little mini, pages with everybody's stuff on it. But that's okay because later, when there's a lot of people, I mean, right now I love everyone and I know everyone. But down the road, I'm still going to love them, but, I might not know them. So, it really helps to be able to have the reference. Plus, everybody else, of course, I'm trying to introduce you to everybody else. So I want them to see, so of course, when somebody else goes through your stuff, and they see what's interesting to them, that's what I'm doing. I'm just pulling out what I think is interesting. So I think that my, viewers would be interested as well. Plus, the information is important to know as an introduction, what somebody's services are, what their abilities are, and what they can do to help, and how do they put that into service, what is their mission. So when I'm searching for things, that's what I'm really looking for inside those events. So I can present that to the viewers. I love that capability. I was thinking about doing a promo, but we haven't had time because we've just done these so quickly because it just happened a couple of weeks ago. But I'm planning for all next year in the next couple of weeks because I'm not going to have as many interviews during the holidays. I didn't schedule many over the holidays. I got Tammy on the 30th and Michaela tomorrow. But the rest of the time I'm planning for next year. So anybody out there that has any guests that they would like to see, please feel free to offer up any suggestions. I'm always willing to take a chance, and talk to people. I've had people ask me if I charge. I've had people say they charge me too. So I can't really take on anybody that charges for their interviews right now because there's literally no budget. But as we do some things, Spirit inspired me today to how to help with a fundraiser and a drive. So I'm going to be bringing that out during the Christmas time or the holidays, and then I'm going to start promoting. So everybody is going to go together. That's why I'm doing this, because however much sponsor or funds that we have, instead of just trying to promote myself, I'm going to promote everybody together for the same amount. It makes much more sense to me as a marketer. And, it's just more spiritually divine as well. I think, I think it'll work. So we're creating the magic now and we're sharing it with everybody. And I'm so happy. I'm so excited about it. And so, yep. So is the dog. The dog's like, okay, I heard you say you're done. You're supposed to stop and feed me right now. That's what she's saying. Can you hear her? She knows it's 5 o'clock and it's her time to get her food. Isn't it amazing how the dogs know that? I mean, they just know their time, don't they? Oh, it's so awesome, though. Thank you so much. This was very nice. I was, a little more, balanced and a little more, mellow and calm. I get real excited and I get real high energy. So I wanted to be a little more balanced for you today. So I feel good that everything came out really good.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for inviting me and having this beautiful discussion about who we are, about our origins, the future. I think maybe next time we should talk about the future.
Absolutely. Everyone right now, I'm just kind of it's all trial and error in the beginning.
Oh, yes, of
So
course.
everybody in
Yes.
the beginning, I'm going to have come back again next year because
Yeah.
I'm sure I will upgrade and I will have things, as they grow, it'll get much more maybe professional or much more involved, and then I can have everyone come back and still be in that energy. But right now, I just love everyone I have coming on. So I'm starting it all with love because that's how I do things. So I'm generating all my guests with lots and lots of love.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's what it's about. And so I've known you for a while, and and I was really glad when you said yes,
Oh,
that I could introduce you to everybody,
mhm.
and I'm sure that also when the YouTube channel starts taking off, then a lot of people will get to see you. So it's just the magic is just beginning. So everybody, when you come in, and see all these, please share your energy and your love for our success because it's everybody.
Love y'all.
Okay, you take care. Bye bye, honey. We'll see you again soon, right?
Bye bye. Yeah,
Happy
love you.
holiday.
You
Bye
too. Bye bye.
bye.